pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Got a chance to look over the minutes.
Move to approve, Dave.
I'll second that.
A second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Got a chance to look through claims.
I'll move to approve.
Kevin second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Want to change something around here a little bit. On old business, I've got Michaela who's asking for something. If you want to come up here. Podium.
We send Michaela, but we'll go through Steve.
My name's Stephen M. Davis, for the record. I live on North Morrison Street, adjacent to where my parents lived. And we were in the process of one of my children I was going to redo that house and move one of my kids into it. In the meantime, they had a catastrophic medical episode in the family. And that's going to go on for several more months. This basically rendered them a one-income household. So in the meantime, we're come before the board to ask that we could go ahead and move them to that location in a pull-behind camper so they can go ahead and get their house on the market and sell their house.
It's to me, this would fall under hardship. And they truly have had a hardship.
Yeah, so we're asking probably late April, early May, and no more than 12 months. Hopefully sooner, less than that.
And this, I wouldn't have wanted to go through the hardship. I think what they're asking here is something we should be able to accomplish.
Let's hear from
Move to approve that, Dave.
Okay.
I'll second it.
A second, any other discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
You second?
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, progress, Craney Building.
Thank you. Real quick, I have a memorandum of the recommendation of 2 appraisers for the Craney Building. As you know, that's required by statute. These are 2 individuals I have worked with in the past. I have no interest other than that. You will not find more highly qualified individuals. They are Nick Tillema and Mike Lady. And to make a long story short, both are experienced in doing appraisals in this situation. And frankly, in talking to Nick Tillema, who happens to be a lawyer but not active, and I'm gonna go back and look at the statute. He said in the past, the statute talks about its words. Is it 2 appraisals or 2 appraisers? Because he said in the past for other municipalities, you've had 2 independent appraisers and they prepare a joint report. Turnaround time would be about 30 days. You know, they couldn't give me an exact figure on cost because they don't know what they're getting into, but they kind of ballparked it between $3,600 and $4,500. So top end, you'd be looking at $9,000. I gave you a review of their qualifications. I mean, Mike Lady has done some of the biggest appraisals around. He appraised the Naval Avionics facility for the United States government when they left, so you're just not gonna find more qualified people. Frankly, I had some other suggestions and recommendations, but I didn't even get callbacks on a couple of them, so. If you find this acceptable, I would simply suggest a motion approving their retention, and I will then follow up.
So are we gonna have both of them, or
You have to have both.
are we gonna do a joint, or?
I'm gonna look at the statute and verify. If we can use a joint report, I think that's the way to go. That way you're not averaging valuations and all that. So, and again, it's just a question of statutory interpretation. I can find the answer. I know that other communities have done it and nobody's complained. So.
I'll make a motion to move forward.
I'll second that.
The motion is second to move forward with these. Any other discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Done. EDA. This is basically, we're going to make everything ADA compliant. We have to do this to be eligible for grants. Certain things we're doing.
That's just our streets, sidewalks, that's all we control. So.
Buildings.
Our buildings, yeah. Right. Who's doing that?
Katie, out of, Brian.
HWC.
Oh,
I'm
HWC.
sorry.
Okay, HWC, perfect.
It's in your folder.
Oh.
Sorry.
And this is the final passage of this, because we've already passed the,
Okay. This is coming for you.
and I think we need this done for the crossroads grant. So we get it done, because it's about completed.
I thought there was something going on with that.
We had to approve them to do this, I think.
Put together the proposal.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we did that, I moved that we go forward with this, and like we started, we got finished it.
Yeah, I think this was just our final.
Yeah.
Moving forward. I'll second Larry's. Move
Okay.
forward.
A motion and second. Any other discussion on this? All in favor?
Dave, do you want to get with me and get the signatures, and I'll do the stuff on letterhead? Or is it, you already put it on letterhead?
I already signed it.
Yeah, I just need his signatures and then I can
Okay.
scan that and email that to him.
One of them is two signatures.
Might want to take them before I lose it. Okay. Lee.
Okay, a couple of things we spoke on last time, and what am I speaking on here today? On the tree?
This tree.
Says agree.
This is the tree. Dave came out, we spoke, and he talked, he explained stuff, he talked about an easement and such like that, of it being an easement. That's one of the things that I asked him as he was there. The danger of the tree and the position of the tree and the power lines of the tree, and being it a business within our community, I think that it raises a flag of saying pretty important to get this tree taken out of there. We spoke about something of talking to the,
Right, here's my understanding. well, first of all, part of it's statutory. My understanding, it's a Duke pole, right? Duke Energy, the pole, there's Duke, there's, the power line is a Duke power line, and so the tree is adjacent to it and problematic. So the next question is, a public utility under statute in Indiana may put its infrastructure in the public right of way without any approvals, payment, anything. So my question, I don't know the answer to this, but somebody here should, is this alley platted as a part of Morristown? If it is, then I suspect that's why the power line is there. And my experience with the utility and with utilities is that they are delighted to come and cut down trees and take trees out because it just eliminates the hassle, avoids outages with an ice storm or something like that. So tell me if your alley's platted, I can get the pole number off the nearest pole and a picture of the tree. I don't have the.
That's why they're labeled and stuff now.
Yes.
They are counted, yes.
Yeah, oh yeah, say that again. Mark.
Those or the roads are
They're
accounted
platted.
for, yes.
Okay.
Those
So, I don't have the contacts that I used to have at Duke because people retire and move on, but I can make the call and get the right person.
Okay. I appreciate that.
And I can't tell you how quickly they'll move, but generally speaking, it's like we can cut something out of our way, great.
Okay. All right, fantastic. And then, I spoke with, was it Craig? And we discussed some things on that, and that's an ongoing issue, so I appreciate that time, appreciate them coming out and talking with me. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
You bet. If
Okay,
you see light when we get done, I'll swing by and shoot a picture of the marking on the nearest pole.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
general business. You got anything, Andrea?
No.
Okay. Okay, new business. Robert, Jebediah Construction.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rob Rich. I'm the owner of Jedediah Construction LLC. I'm an Indianapolis builder, Shelbyville, Shelby County builder. I'm licensed in all those areas. And I was delightful to my potential customer, Katie Larson's here. She lives out on North 300 East. I spoke with Elaine and Gary, and we did confirm that the city of Morristown did run sanitary and water lines on the west side of that road. And she is wanting for us to build onto her home, existing home, because her mother-in-law has moved up from Florida with dementia. So we need to enlarge her house to accompany the people that's going to be living there. And we are wanting to annex that property to take it off of the private utilities and put it on city utilities.
Is that the property way back?
Yes, so me and my team, we've already engineered everything that we need to do to accompany all Indiana state guidelines when it comes to a lift station. We'll be using a Liberty pump, 10-foot head. It pumps out 23 gallons per second, I believe. And then the per Gary, he said that I would meet with one of them and they would come out and tell us where we would need to run the main water line for the pit location. And then, of course, we would trench all that in, of course.
Have you got a manhole that you can
Yes.
bore into?
Yep. It's directed right across the street from the property. Yep.
Is that it, Brad?
So they actually own, I did that too, and I confirmed with the homeowners that they own all that land in between the driveway. So all that's theirs. That's not in the yellow. I have no idea why it looks like that,
That
but
extra rectangle.
Oh, the extra rectangle.
It's 3 separate plats.
Another question I got for you, in the past when it comes to that road, we require it's bored under, not cut. So you have a problem with that?
Nope.
Okay. I mean, it's not a customer, guys.
Let's say get him hooked up, that's what he wants to do, right?
Is that all right?
It's in the town, right? Or we have to annex?
We'll have to
It's
annex.
You have to annex,
There is
voluntary annexation.
Yeah, there is property around it that is
That is-
annexed.
I
Yeah.
thought
I mean, we're adjacent, so.
You need 1/8 geographic contiguity to the parcel for an annexation. I don't know whether you got that.
And I imagine that's there.
Now,
Is that-
even if you didn't
Is
have
that our
that,
next?
you could, under a use agreement, extend, okay, let me see
I
that.
think it's the yellow, I think.
Yellow is Morristown.
Oh.
I think so. You want to tell me if that's correct?
Yeah, I mean, you can get,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Run out to the barn,
just
yeah.
a rough look, because you got that yellow up there, you've got your money.
Yes. And their property's right here, so we're good.
So,
Yeah, I think.
for the purposes of annexation, you would,
Right, you should be fine if it's middle.
you'd take, yeah, it looks
Especially
like.
put that in there.
So you would take the meat cleaver parcel and then add the parcels to what I think is the southwest along that, I can't tell.
Or no, the other way, I'm sorry. Number,
So you have a rectangle.
yeah. That one there's the left.
So you're saying annex that part first, and
No,
then
you
the
can
other
do it-
two
you can
parcels?
You can do it all at once.
All at once?
I got enough on that half of that square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or trapezoid, whatever. Not trapezoid.
There's a,
The meat cleaver.
Yeah, me, yeah, on the other side of it.
first put the meter pit in, do the sewage tap, it's the $3,500 fee, I believe, is that right?
Yeah.
35, 50 maybe?
I called T Lane and she sent me over, she actually sent me over the plot and stuff like that earlier, and I believe the hook to, from what she said, it's a $2,050 for the sanitary and then $1,550 for the water tap.
That's correct.
That's it. So you're all right with that?
Yep.
And you'll be putting the super line in?
What's that?
You'll be putting the line in?
No, I got my guy that's gonna be doing it, but I'm the one that's gonna be pulling all permits involved and everything, so.
So what does, you need to file?
He needs to file a petition for a voluntary annexation. And that goes to your plan commission for review and a recommendation to the council, because annexation is a legislative act.
Which is gonna take him 2 weeks and 2 weeks.
It's not gonna be instant.
Can you go ahead and install these utilities before then?
If you did an interim use agreement, you could do that, but I wouldn't say just go do it without some documentation.
Yeah, because what I'll have to do is, since it's considered to be Shelby County, the health department would have to release the property from it being on a septic system.
Right.
Because I'll have to delete that, of course, drain it, fill it, crush it, bury it, and then, because I have to get the proper release from the health department to even get permits pulled. So I would have to have documentation for all that regardless.
When do you plan to start construction?
Last week.
You're already digging.
No, I learned that a long time ago, don't do that. So, yeah.
Well, that's 2 weeks, right? Our next,
We
2
could-
weeks is our next meeting.
If we had to have a special meeting, we could do that to get you going.
Yeah, that'd be really, I mean, that's really important. for
I don't
the
know if
homeowners.
Jesse has a form petition or not.
I'm not sure. I'd have to ask you.
I've got petitions that could be modified, so.
It probably would be behoove you to give that to them.
Okay. Make sure I get your time back.
When do we want to do this?
You guys tell me.
What's that?
That's probably the most hardest.
You tell me when you wanna do this.
If it's at 6 o'clock, I'm pretty good during the day. Maybe at 7, doesn't even take time.
I'll just be here whenever. Anyway,
Is it, are we talking next week?
If we can do it next week.
I'm out of town next week, so turn the switch on.
Please.
Do we have to have a, is that?
Do I have to post it?
Yes.
So that puts us where?
You gotta get published notice.
you can post it tonight.
I mean, I can get it posted. I don't know about tonight, because I gotta email it, but
Well, you can post it generally, but we've gotta have a legal description, petition,
So we
published
can 2 weeks.
notice.
Let's wait 2 weeks to get it done right. If we
The
miss
next
something,
meeting
we're-
is the 26th. At 6
I mean,
o'clock.
we're at your mercy. I mean, there's nothing we can do until,
You put your email address on the back of that.
Or if
We'll
we
make
try
sure
to,
our
if
ducks
we
are in a
try
row.
to do it next week, we'll be rushing it to miss something, and I don't
She's
want to
got
miss
it.
And then you have to come back for another meeting.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd like
March
it to be
26th, plan commission.
fair.
So we'll plan for 2 weeks.
What?
Plan commission
We
meets
don't
in
have a
2
choice,
weeks.
do we?
6 p.m.
We make sure we're set to go with Jesse, Brian?
Pardon
We
me?
make sure in 2 weeks we're set to go with Jesse?
whatever I need to,
What I'll do is normally he would do all this, but I will pull a petition that I've used, modify it, work with this gentleman to get all of the information. We'll get that to Jesse, get it on the agenda for next plan commission meeting. When's the next plan commission meeting?
2 weeks.
Yeah, we can be on the agenda next year. That's plenty of time to get it done, it'll be on the agenda. Then it goes to the council, so there's no reason it couldn't take, honestly, we gotta get published notice, but, we could take the plan commission recommendation directly to the council meeting that night.
Get it taken care of that.
what's that?
Get it taken care of that day.
That'd be outstanding.
Get the approval.
Okay,
Rich construction.
see you in 2 weeks.
All righty, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
6 o'clock or 7 o'clock?
Morristown Chamber
Yeah.
and Morristown Matters. How are you?
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
We're reading material for you. First, I'd just like to thank you all for your support for last year. Your support really helped make several events great for the town of Morristown. We did, of course, Derby Days. We had, which was a great success. We did a survey, which you can see some of the results on this document that I gave to you from the survey from last year. Very positive. We had the tent back. We had a lot of vendors from all different areas. A lot of participation in the Kids Fun Zone. We had Bryson Cooper, who came from Nashville to be our headliner from an entertainment standpoint. We did a foam party for the first time, which was a lot of fun. So thank you in advance for supporting that military night and the trunk or treat. So our first ask for this year is that we would like to continue these events this coming year, and we're asking the town to support us at the same level as you all did last year, which was $15,000. Being able to do that, we can continue with Derby Days. What I think was really unique is we're able to offer the entertainment at Derby Days free of charge, right? So the bounce houses are free, the petting zoo free, the face painting, all of that stuff is free with your support, which makes it a really nice event. Because we get parents all the time who come up to us and ask us, how much does this cost? And we say, it's free. And I think that really makes a difference for folks. We'd like to continue that this year and really expand it. We'd like to have a larger kids zone. We'd like to have a larger foam party this year. We're expanding the tent to include a dining area, a couple more vendors, and additional food trucks, which were some of the things that folks were looking for last year. And the question that we have So first is the ask of the 15,000, and then the second question that we have for you is, we're running up against some issues. So with where we have the Derby days today, we have a couple issues. One is space. There's not a lot of space for us to expand. We're about at our limits from a tent standpoint because of the spacing with the school and where it's at. Power was a significant issue last year. We had to rent a pretty large generator. And you all know with the pole that we had hooked up through Duke, the comment we got last year was that we probably can't do that again for safety reasons. So that would mean either some other type of power situation or running a second generator for that area. And the generators last year cost us about $900. So to do that, basically we'd have to double that. We also have infrastructure issues like parking and restrooms. So the question here is, what do we do for this year? And I think there's three options, and we'd really like your thoughts on this. Number one is that we can keep it the same. Right? We can stay where we are. We can do the things that we're doing. We can rent a couple more, run another generator, and power kind of both ends of the spectrum. Our second idea is what we call, go big and stay in town, which is really, if we could have, and I don't know how feasible this is, but if we could have 52 closed for a longer period of time, for a larger period of time, we could do kind of like what they do with Riley Days or New Pal with theirs. We could have that event there on the street with vendors and a car show. It really gives us the space that we need in order to do that. The third option is the park. So the park, there's a lot of space out there at the park. It does take some of that out of the town, which you recognize. There's a lot more infrastructure there with restrooms, with power, more parking, and we could do a lot more things out there. Boys and Girls Club have also said that they would run a shuttle service back and forth from the race to the park. So those are the two questions that we have for you. And before I turn it over to you, I will also say that for the donation this year, in addition to Derby Days, we're also doing the Henry Memorial Scholarship Walkathon. So we've had that on Morristown Community Group. So we're raising money to start a scholarship in Henry's name. We have to raise $25,000 in 3 years. We think we can do it. So we're going to do that this year. And then next 2 years, we also have our trunk or treat event that we're going to be doing, military night, of course, and our tree lighting and Christmas parade. So those are all the events that we're looking at for this year that money will go to support. So thank you in advance, and love to hear your thoughts and opinions.
20 years ago, we were on a shovel.
We did, yeah. Yeah. That I wasn't here at the time, but I heard that was the case.
I want to say thank you for all the time.
You got it.
Everything you guys do, put things like this on, it's recognized, and
Appreciate that.
as far as the donation, 100%. Is that kind enough to cover? Does that you guys cover all with that?
We're fortunate enough we do get, we always welcome more donations, right? So we won't turn that away. But we do also have great community sponsors. Bungie was a big supporter of us last year, and Caldwell's. The Bungie supported the tents, right? And Caldwell's helped support the main stage, and we had the fireworks. So that was always very, very appreciated. Last year, I think we spent probably about almost $20,000 on Derby Days. $22,000 on Derby Days, just to give you a perspective when everything goes put together. So the good news is we're having I didn't bring this up, we do have a committee this year where we're going to do the Chamber, Morristown Matters, the Town of Morristown, the Scouts, and somebody from the POG. We want to pull that group together to coordinate all the decisions and the activities for Derby Days so we can have a more tightened up events and make sure that we're all coordinated in our activities. So,
Wondering if we want to raise that 20, we got 4
Yeah, I'll take it from the Racino. Okay, there's plenty in there.
You guys all right, 20?
Make a motion to go with 20.
And we got 15.
Huh?
much we get last year?
15.
I think we paid for fireworks. I think you guys came and asked for a donation for fireworks and we just covered all of it and then we've given them some money for something else, so I think that's.
For the total year.
Yeah,
I mean, it'll probably come out to the same amount we make this one donation.
right.
Yeah. Well, appreciate that.
Who seconded that?
I will.
Okay.
This is it. Any other discussion on that? All in favor? Aye.
Thank you very much, appreciate that.
If you work at the park, you need to talk to the parks director up there.
What's your opinion on that? I mean, we love the
I'd
town.
like to leave it like it is. It's always been that way.
I agree.
I know when we did it over at the park that time, people was complaining about going back and forth.
Right.
I mean, we had a lot of, I think Peggy was in charge of
I think
that.
Peggy was in charge of that, because I
We had a
remember
lot
her
of,
talking about it.
vendors over there.
I
That's
think
the
it
reason we
went
put all
wrong
that
everywhere.
electric.
I think the problem was we still had the tent here in town with half of the stuff, and then you had
The travel
other
over.
people out there doing half of the stuff, and that made it more of a logistics thing, where if everything is moved out there except for the race,
Mhm.
makes it a little bit better. I do know, I believe, you might have to correct me, Brad, I know it's grandfathered to close down highways. No, not any,
That's never existed.
okay, good to know.
That was a fable.
Okay.
They don't allow more time, do they?
No, so how that works is it's just, since it's a federal and state highway, they at any time can say no. They just happen to let us do it every year. I do know last year, they were extremely concerned about our timeline, because they said the sooner the better. The fact is we have 500 semis a day come through Morristown. So when we start pushing those off onto county roads, we have tons of issues. So that's why they want that time frame as short as possible. And they were very nitpicky last year on I had to resubmit it 3-4 times. It was quite an ordeal.
So my understanding is they've gotten that way about Greenfield as well during rainy days,
Yeah.
if the interstate shuts down, they can make them all move it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and they can come and tell you to move it too.
Are there any other green spaces here in town we can move?
You're gonna be limited in
I mean,
it.
You got this lot back
You got
there.
the lot back here.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got that over there you could use for car shows. I personally, like I said, I think it needs to be there.
I agree.
I agree, too.
I agree. I mean, you look at what they do in Greenfield, they shut it down for the day. Not Greenfield, Newtown. They shut it down for Friday. I don't think they do Friday and Saturday, it's one day. They got the school they use.
Get the lines closed out there they use.
Right. Right, you get all the way out there.
Our issue is we had to turn away almost 30 vendors last year, which we don't like to turn anybody away if they want to come set up, because forever it was, nobody wanted to come in. So we're finally getting this outpour of people actually wanting to be at Derby Days, and we have nowhere for them to go, because we can't go any further with the tent and have food trucks and, other things. So we're just like trying to logistically, we can put people out in canopies, out in like the grass and stuff,
But then that's
but
where you
it won't
stage
be
is.
all together. And
that's
that's where the bounce houses are, and people park on the other side, so it just is, it's getting hard with it growing for us to know where to put stuff.
And the power is gonna be a significant
It's
issue.
That's a bigger issue.
And we've got all those power boxes at the park, you remember, a whole row of them in.
I remember as a kid at the park, and I kind of liked it.
I
I remember it that many years ago. Everything was there.
Everybody hates losing that tradition, because I do too,
But
of
I
having
do
it
too, yeah.
downtown, but
It kills my heart to have
it's good to
do
be
something like
growing,
that.
you have to think about
Use the amphitheater,
what our
Yeah.
next
to get a
step is,
stage.
Mhm.
which we're talking about upgrading the stage and.
Yeah, and if I could, I mean, I know I'm fairly new around here for 4 years, but I know the Derby, I mean, it's historical on 52 and everything, but an idea is moving it to north, like you have the adult. And I think we could probably, I'd imagine we could probably do a better job of sectioning off that side of town and keeping car traffic from going out Morris into the park and allowing more people, it would be more accessible
to people to get out to the park, as opposed to have everything over here. And I know it's a small town, but I know people also think of, well, we're here, and it's such an inconvenience to walk 4 blocks or whatever, 6 blocks, whatever it is. Whereas, you're just a few blocks away. So I'm not saying move it, I'm just, as you're talking about growing and expanding and shuttling, it's just a thought to think about, so.
And it probably wouldn't be done this year because we already have things set in stone, like where the tent's gonna be, where the blood drive's gonna be, and it's things that are hard to change this close up to it. It's just for our future. We already have 20 vendors booked, and we only have 30 spaces, and we're months out from Derby Days.
And a lot of these are repeats from last year who want to come back. And
Repeats and brand new people that saw that there was a good turnout, and they're like, hey, my friend told me it was a good event, we want to come.
And that tent was packed. I mean, especially early on, there was a lot of people in there.
There was no walking room for a
Yeah,
while.
it was great.
One thing the park would let you utilize is the basketball courts. You could run
3-on-3
basketball
We could run
games.
tournaments here,
If there's pickleball courts, they could be doing pickleball
Yep.
games.
And the restrooms, I mean,
You're gonna need more restaurant turns.
yeah.
There's 2, but.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna handle the crowd.
You would need
We'd certainly get porta
some
pots,
extra.
but it's like my
Yeah.
wife would never go into a porta pot, so, so.
She's been trying to convince us to get those nice bathroom
Yes,
trailers.
yes, yeah.
We probably want to take that field out of rotation that year too, of crops. North. That way you could have a year of that to grow and mow.
It's some parking.
And you could use that as parking or
That'd be
additional
better.
space.
Well, you guys talked about getting like
Something like that.
rides and stuff back
Yeah,
out there.
we did.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
that's something you could work with Dave and
Mhm.
Whether it
Make
be
it-
this year, or
Right.
next year moving forward, we'd love to have you guys out at the park and get people out there at the park. You guys talked about renting a generator and the stage. I would save you guys some money because we have the amphitheater out there with electric where your band could hook up out there and, plenty of space out there as well. So I'm sure you guys have been out there and you know the space out
It's
there
beautiful.
to have concerts and stuff like that. So, yeah, we'd love to have you guys out there at the park for 30
Got a whole
days.
field.
However.
Like I said, it'd be big enough they could use the whole town.
We do really want to form this committee as far as every single, so me and Jess Brown have been working together on this idea of all the organizations that have been involved being on a committee, and it's not giving anybody more things to do. It's just so that we can communicate, get things out in a timely fashion, and not have someone posting over here, well, it's this time, and over here, well, it's this time, and getting different sponsorships, or people are like, I sponsored this, well, they didn't tell me, so we didn't advertise it, kind of thing. So it's just for all of us, and if we could get a board member from the town on the committee, so we can kind of coordinate with, like blocks being moved, or different things like that, but it's just not easy for us to do when we're at work, but.
it's during the summer, if nobody else wants to do it, I'll-
That would be great.
I'm not a board member, but I can help during that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I have all
just
their numbers.
anyone that works for the town really, that, has contacts and can
That'd be
help us
amazing.
out, would be great.
Unless you guys, one of you want to, I just have.
All of you.
I know you guys are busy, I'm not as busy, so I'm.
It's a
more than willing.
fun group. We have a good time.
I'm like, and I
We have a
already
good time
know
doing it.
Jesse.
We actually have a lot of
We have a lot of
fun
fun doing it.
at Derby Days,
Yeah,
despite how tired we are.
yeah.
I don't work
It's an all-day
for
thing. Okay, so to not belabor, it sounds like we'll keep it as is this year with the thought that we'll explore the park next year. And one of the things too, I think as we grow this, it's a great opportunity to bring people from even larger surrounding areas to see this great town.
One of the things we're doing, the state's working on 2 concerts in the park this summer.
That's awesome.
We're planning on putting a community center in the park
Oh, that'd be great.
and doing some things like that. And that's gonna change the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be wonderful.
I stayed away from July for Derby Days. 'Cause I know
Appreciate that.
You guys have a concert, and
Yeah.
I just looked at Rushville and Shelbyville's schedules too for their concerts, and corresponded on dates that they didn't have, so we weren't losing to him, so.
Yeah, and certainly, you know, Morristown Manager's here to help, so if you need any help, we'd be happy to help you out.
Even van contacts, throughout the years, we've gotten quite a bit of van contacts too, so if you need help with ideas. And our survey, when we do our survey every year, they give us all kinds of band ideas that they want to come to Morristown and sell.
Yeah, Yacht Rock was pretty popular, so if you want to do that. All right. Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Did we pass the meeting?
Yes.
Okay, we good? We good with that?
Forgot where we were at.
Thank you. We did.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Morgan, you're up.
Hold on, what do you need?
The chamber,
Chamber.
yes, would like to have the approval again to use North Street for the adult derby like they have in the past.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, you'll get the bump run in there too while we're at it.
Elaine, do you want to vote log run while you're here instead?
Yes. While I'm here, we'd like to have approval to do the fog run again this year for the 25th year.
With the donation.
With the donation, what's the donation amount?
$5,000.
And Elaine, we want you on the committee too.
Like what?
I was just kidding.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I wrote it down.
Yeah, you guys were listening to that.
Oh, no, I was, but I was letting the company know where I said hey.
Lane, you were about there.
Okay, so what is the donation?
All in favor?
I'll look it up, just to see, okay.
Either 5 or 6 thousand.
Yeah, 5 or 6. All
Okay.
in favor?
Okay.
You're set. Okay. Morgan.
Okay. Waste, WWOC, we pay them, every month. Wastewater operators, it's with Sean.
Sean Massingham.
He sent he sent 2 contracts, it's the same thing. One's a 1 year, one's a 3 year. 1 year, we have to renew it every year and it can change. Right now, we pay $1833.60 a month. He has sent us a new quote, it's on the back of what I sent you, for $2,033.60. We can lock that in for 3 years and the price will not change. Or we can do 1 year and review and see what it'll be next year. This will start in April.
He does a good job.
Yes.
It's been around forever.
Okay, that's what I brought the 3 year because I thought if we can lock it in.
Move to approve.
Second.
Hey, wait a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's all I have.
Wow. Legal.
All right, in your packet, you have 2 proposed zone maps.
Yes.
And I'll try and be brief, but to make a long story short, you were probably aware that a proposal to revise the comprehensive plan of Shelby County was moved by county commissioner. The county employed a consultant by the name of Philip Roth. And the proposal that was made dramatically reduced the lands designated under the existing comprehensive plan, which dates from 2019, so it's not all that old, for commercial industrial development surrounding Morristown. Now, this ground is not under Morristown's jurisdiction currently, but it was felt by the redevelopment commission, by the council, and so on, a couple things. Number one, how did this get to this stage without more knowledge on the part of town officials? And number two, it was viewed as a proposal that was not in Morristown's best interest. So I and others have attended various meetings, including a public meeting in Morrell Township, a lengthy hearing before the Plan Commission, where we were assisted by members of the council, Brad Pittico in his personal capacity, not and to make a long story short, a potential compromise has been reached, whereby your zoning and planning consultant, Brian Stump with HWC, interfaced with the county's planner, and what you have before you is 2 proposed maps that one scale back the commercial industrial development, but not so radically as proposed by the county's consultant, and also provide for residential development. In very general terms, commercial industrial is basically north and near your existing industrial park. Residential is south and west of 52. It is my understanding in communicating with Mr. Stump that the county plan commission would approve these proposed maps, send them on to the county commissioners, and they would be adopted there as well. Then next, apparently the county is favorably disposed to approve a buffer zone, which is a statutory animal that allows you some planning jurisdiction basically within a 2-mile radius of your community. That process is initiated by a petition from the Plan Commission to the County Plan Commission, which hears it and then sends it on to the county commissioners. It was my feeling, and as well as others, I didn't get a chance to talk to everybody, but we certainly tried to make sure people were informed that we needed expertise in the development of maps, and Brian and his group have developed your existing UDO, so that this made perfect sense. So, my suggestion is that you approve these maps as proposed. Brian can follow up, and this would be presented to the County Plan Commission on March 25th, and would go to the county commissioners thereafter.
Brian, are we okay with what's on the other side? This is basically from town west. Am I correct? We don't have anything from the center of town going to the east. That's on this map.
Well,
Or are we okay with what they were?
I mean,
or are we kind of stuck there?
we're not stuck. I mean, but you see.
Well, yeah, because of the river, yeah, but I'm talking about on the east side of town here. Where
our
industrial park is.
Yeah.
We're not thinking of going anywhere that way?
Well.
Or was that already?
Chapter 2. In 2026, it's my understanding that the town will undertake a revision and look to its comprehensive plan. So.
We're already annexed to 600.
Yeah, and the scenario would be approve this, immediate problem solved, petition for buffer zone, obtain same 2026 comprehensive plan.
I'm good, I get the picture.
So this is housing map?
Yeah, hang on, let me pull it out.
Purple, that's industrial.
Everything in the red looks like flood zone area, so you wouldn't be able to build a house in there.
Well, no, but you have all of this to the west. And again, the proposal that was made to the county really didn't do any significant revision to the comprehensive plan as to residential. It was pretty much all focused on industrial commercial.
Your residential is basically gonna go this way.
That's south.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To the west and south of 52.
and east we don't have it. I mean,
Again, the same comments I made about
Really,
buffer
that's what
zone
you're
and
doing.
comprehensive plan. Because a lot of this is ag currently, and the county code allows you to permit residential and agricultural. If you undertake a revision of your comprehensive plan, then, at least based upon the sentiment that I hear from the council, you probably want to consider within the buffer zone changing some of the ag designation to directly permitting residential development. Doesn't mean the ag can't continue, but it does mean that if someone came along and wanted to develop residential, it makes the
And how much
success
do they take away from housing? I keep asking that question.
almost.
Right now, you don't have
Ryan
any.
Stump's the guy to answer that, and I'll follow up with him, but it's really on housing, almost nothing.
There's no housing taken away on this side over here. That over there, if we have the buffer zone, we can create housing. Without it, we're not going to.
Yeah. But I
One
know
house
you were
is
very
right.
interested in residential development. I expressed that interest to Brian and said, make sure that you don't do anything that diminishes our current position on residential development. And my understanding is he's done that.
I mean, I think if we follow up with the buffer, that's gonna probably take care of any issues.
That's the same buffer that Shelbyville has.
Yeah.
In different communities. They work on a 2-mile fringe, same as we do.
So we want to sign,
Edinburgh's done it now.
so we need to assign the planning commission with this information. And go from there.
The only thing that will change is you're not gonna be paying taxes in Morristown. We would have to send our inspector in that area to inspect. But that will give us jurisdiction, because we can say then, this is housing, this is what it is now, you know, the way it's been set up, they're just like,
Goes to the county.
yeah, I mean,
County's gotta go inspect it, county's got to jurisdict it, inspect it.
I think they're more than favorable to give us a 2-mile fringe.
Okay. You need a motion?
Yes, a motion to recommend that these maps go to the plan commission. And Brian Stump will present them, and we're gonna work out a proposed ordinance prior to that March 25 meeting.
I'll make a motion that we go forward with that proposal to the planning commission.
The second, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Good job.
Quick on legal, and I'm trying to do this in 30 seconds. The biggest issue legislatively, which I'm following, is what's gonna happen to property tax in Indiana, and how is that going to impact municipal entities? And the answer is, these issues are yet unresolved, but the pending legislation, which is Senate Bill 1, doesn't do municipalities any favors.
Right.
I could say more, but I'll
Property
stop.
taxes are going to go down. That's a mandate.
That's true. I mean, again, the numbers are approximate, but over $100 million in every case in each category will fall back on towns, counties, et cetera. Now, the proposed legislation gives a municipal entity the opportunity to pass its own tax legislation after a public hearing, but that's a rather unpalatable.
And we have a lot of elderly people that their taxes and
Property
skyrocket.
taxes can be a problem. I mean, assessment went up. So, that is my report.
Okay. Very good.
All right, as far as the application process goes, we've had, I had physical agility planned for last Saturday. Supposed to had 2 come out, one of them dropped out, so we only had one that came out. He completed it, fell within the parameters that were set. We currently have 5 that will be participating on Saturday. I've already spoke with EMS. They're going to be out there on standby on Saturday, so we have them out there. And then once we complete physical agility, then we'll have essentially a top 4 candidate list that we will then move forward with interviews. And we're looking at the 20th for interviews that we will have, and then we'll bring our request, or what we come up with, we'll bring those to the board with our findings after the interview, is how that's going to happen. I wanted to bring up, as far as the pay scale that we had talked about adopting, if we're going to be interviewing on the 20th, I'm sure that the applicants would like to know how much money they're going to make. So I'd just like to see where we're at on that, because I know that was maybe a deciding factor if someone wants to accept or not, depending on what the pay rate
Didn't
was
we
going
move
to
that up? Didn't we make a motion to change that?
At one point, yes.
Yeah.
And then you guys were talking about it again.
Okay.
So I'm just doing whatever you guys tell me.
You said we're fine on money. So we change it to, if I remember.
I think we're gonna have to be at least
We
$70,000.
lateraled in at
No more than 5 years.
5 years, and that's about 70.
Yep, 70,000,
40
or 70,044
$440
or
or
something
something.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I didn't know I needed to have that prepared, exact number. And then if we brought somebody in at that, they would be making about what our marshal currently makes, and we were gonna bump him up.
Right.
So that's up to, and it was.
To maxed out 10 years. And then the way that I believe we would handle it then is we would not do an increase every time the county does one, but we would revisit it every 2 years to bring that up and say, this is where
But our marshal will be maxed
we're
out.
moving at.
If he does background checks on these guys, their employers will be dinged that they're looking at something else.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's important to them to know what the pay's gonna be, because if they don't know what the pay's gonna be, I wouldn't even look at it.
Mhm.
You've already got the benefit package, right?
I have all the medical side of it, I have all that, I have that package already in hand. So yeah, I mean, that's essentially,
I'm good to go with the pay scale we established last time or the time before.
That was a long time ago.
It's been a while.
We can get along.
Yeah.
at least a month, at least.
Yeah, ain't worried about it.
It might be long. Okay, then the second question that arose from that was then our fire chief. What's it called? I don't want to say it wrong. It's not the fire chief, it's operations manager
Operations
or whatever,
manager,
operations.
Where,
gonna be-
Christie is the fire chief in that process right now.
Is that gonna match the same?
We are,
We're supposed to have a meeting next week, I think.
Okay, so we can bring that back. Okay.
And when do we want to make that active, then as far as that?
Because I haven't changed his pay since we haven't hired anybody.
Because we're looking at a perspective of if everything falls in line and everything works out with interviews and everything, we're probably looking at the 1st of April. We're either going to announce who we found by the last meeting in March, or at the very latest, the first meeting in April would be the absolute.
So once we
Yeah.
hire him,
Once we hire them, makes sense. Make all that active.
You guys have got all that, numbers you need?
yeah, I've talked to all of them.
You've got that taken care of, Lauren? And does that help you guys with the fire chief stuff, or do you need that numbers before you walk in the meeting?
We can already have it planned.
Okay.
So we need to make another motion?
No, it's already been passed. We're just making sure we're not changing anything.
That's what I thought. All right.
Just clarifying that this is what's going to happen.
We were moving forward.
We are moving forward
Go
with that.
forward, yeah. all
Yeah,
right.
because it was stated that we were
Maybe
going
I'll do
to,
something.
it was going to go to the financial guy. The
Yeah, I was
financial guy
like,
gonna
don't do
say
anything until I make sure.
That's right. Yea or nay, and then we would move
Yeah, we'll
forward
work
if
on
that was
So we're done with this on that.
Yes, continue.
outstanding. All right, so we, as far as equipment, then we'll be holding off on that, of course, until we hire them, so that's not gonna be an issue. I did order some drug test kits because the ones that we have are old, so I ordered those today. Came out to about $130 to get those ordered today. Pretty much it for the department. On the IT side, we've been having some issues with the routers out at the wastewater treatment plant. Those routers are actually out of my personal inventory that I put in there because we didn't want to buy them at that point in time. So I'd like to move forward and get new routers for wastewater treatment plant, and then the one that's in the fire station and the one at the town hall are both no longer upgradable. So look at getting 2 for those also. So they're,
Get on it.
if I can get the right price, they're around $70 to $150, somewhere in there.
Go
Each.
for it.
Good.
Okay. That's all we got.
That it?
Yep.
I got a question for Brad.
Yep.
Had town resident asked me about these signs like we got out the park, putting on 52. Have you checked into that? I know I called one guy, he's supposed to got back with him, but you know, state is.
So Craig actually looked into that, and we are on the agenda to receive some from the state. So we were concerned if we put ours out there, that then we wouldn't get the ones from the state. So we held off on that. And what we were looking at is possibly putting 2 of them out in the industrial park, and then finding another location for the other, maybe 300 East or.
Well, I think I
somewhere
was
else.
talking about 52 here.
Yeah, so the state would eventually put
State's
them
gonna do
in.
that.
Yeah, I've seen similar ones, for instance, French Lick has them, you see them a lot in the southern counties,
Wilkinson's got them.
yeah, they put them out on the state roads, so, yeah, they just don't, they're just a smaller version.
Do you know what kind of time frame we're talking about?
No, they won't give us a time frame.
They just said this fiscal year,
We could
and that they would be in touch with.
We have 2, or we don't? We have a couple still.
We
that
have
haven't
3.
installed.
Yeah, we have 3
Can we
that are
do, like,
installed.
Set them up as like a mobile.
So one of them, we talked about putting on the existing radar trailer and just using it as a platform, as a movable one. And then the other 2, we were looking at the industrial park or 300 East, somewhere in there, because we are having speed issues out there. And our speed limit sign somehow disappeared on 500 East. So
Someone need to go out there.
Craig went out and put a new one up, so. Yep. So yeah, they're on the agenda, we just didn't want to put them out there and then the state show up. The application process to put them on 52 was somewhere around 1.5 years, 2 years for them to approve them, so. We could put them up, and if they say no and they don't end up showing up, we just order more and put them up or move them.
We can fix up the portable.
Yeah, I was gonna build, more user-friendly radar sign than what we have. The existing one, parts are, it's just not reliable. And so build something out of it and use the solar power off that sign and it'll be 360-degree, however we want to mount it, or however we want to park it.
Okay, Craig, you're up. You got a busy week?
All right, so I've come across some street sweepers. I think everybody got the packet there. Kind of see some of the ones that, the style that I was going for that best be, good fit for us is this 3-wheeled style. It's a mechanical sweeper, so it's got scrubbing power versus ours is air power, it's regenerative air. You can see this second truck here in the list is a the standard 4-wheel type, but it is a CDL required sweeper, just like ours is now. These other ones that I have on here are non-CDL, so that means everybody back there in utilities could be trained to run it. I put my hands on these 2 from Brown Equipment. They're both in pretty good shape, a little older. This one on the first page though, is a 2017, so it's roughly 10 years newer and $25,000 cheaper. But it's in Pennsylvania, but I've been in contact with the dealer and I've done multiple video calls. He's operated everything for me. I've checked for leaks. I've done everything. It'll be $1,800 to have it shipped here on the truck. And then it was going to be 20. The guy for the second truck here, it's also in Pennsylvania, and he's ballparking it at $2,600 to get it shipped because it is so heavy.
It's older.
Yes, and the second one's an older one too. The one's an 05 with Brown, and then the other one's an 09. And there's the Global M3s, and this one on the front is a Global M3, but it's a 2017. And Brown had something about the same year as this front one with similar hours, and they were asking $160,000 for it. So you can kind of see the price difference.
We can throw, the truck we've got currently
On GovPlanet or GovDeals or,
Rock Mountain.
yeah, an Iron
Iron
Planet.
Mountain.
Yeah, because I discussed with all these and none of them want our stuff.
Right.
It's not that it's not in good shape, it's great shape, they've all said that, but it's all very antiquated.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, it's the truck and the jet are also, they're just, the technologies.
Somebody buy the engine.
Yeah, another municipality's gonna buy it.
And the, Surjet could go also.
Yes, yeah, it's the same, they both said those are kind of just out of date.
We might get a decent price out of Surjet.
Yeah.
Can I just ask that we table this till the next meeting? I know that the recycling district has a meeting tomorrow, and,
They're not gonna do it. I've already got the letter on that.
Oh, they won't help us out?
No, not on that.
It's not recycling equipment.
It's not a street sweeper.
well, I did take, go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I had a meeting after that letter that came from Attorney Jody Butts. And, you know, as you may not all know, but an attorney can walk into a room and we have a project and go either side. And Jody Butts jumped immediately to the first side. In my meeting with Solid Waste, Lisa Carpenter and Nick O'Connor, I spent 20 minutes and gathered the reasons why a street sweeper is not recycling, but what is it, environmentally friendly, that falls under the solid waste district ruling. They gave me 3 sheets and I handed it into the solid waste district, within a 20-minute period, saying that street sweepers are. They classify them all, they have reasons why they are. And one of the main reasons is, probably when Craig came out and saw me, as we stood there in front of the copper kettle, the amount of dust that's created in the air. And when the dust is created in the air off those trucks and off the cars, there's chemicals that drip off those trucks and off those cars that is so important to keep off those streets. Well, the problem is, and one of the main reasons that solid waste district could fall into play in this is keeping the river clean, because the water runs down, that chemical runs down, the grease, the oil, the gases run off that street down into the river. And that's why they say that it can be. So tomorrow, we're supposed to have a meeting, and they may turn it down. But the point is, they're receiving $2.50 a ton going into this facility here, and they're spending it in Shelbyville. It should be being spent here in Morristown, and Morristown needs to step up and fight for that. I mean, we should be receiving the majority of that dollar that they're receiving, and they call it recycling. There's a lot of
They do
different
make
ways to
trucks
call it
that,
recycling.
I did look up too, they do make trucks that are, made for recycled things too, so there are ways to go about looking into these things.
Are you on board there, or?
Yeah. I just know what they told me.
And that's what they told you before my meeting.
So if they don't get the truck tomorrow,
It's,
can you get this one that's cheaper, newer?
Mm-hmm. And it has less hours and miles, by the way.
I'll let you know Friday
Less
morning.
miles an hour.
Dave, can I say, you're not gonna buy somebody's machine that's been used and broken down.
Steve, what do you know
You're gonna buy a
about,
new one, correct?
what do you know about a street sweeper?
I know about buying something old and something new.
What's it look like, Barry? This is the guy that does them. Tell me about the
Okay,
machine.
is it better to buy a new machine or an old machine?
Not for $300 and some thousand.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, it's whatever.
For no more than we're gonna use.
Yeah. And this machine would last us a while. I'm not gonna steer us in the wrong direction as far as that goes. If we were using it every day, something like that, then I could understand buying brand new, but I mean, it's ultimately, it's up to you guys.
But we're not using it every day.
Yeah.
How often should it be used? I mean, you saw the dust of that semi.
Yes.
How often should it be used? Because we are in a unique situation in this community with the amount of dirt that
Has
comes
to
down,
travel through our-
down the road.
Yeah.
How often should it be used? Once a week, once a,
It depends on the weather, how much rain, how much mud we've had, you know.
yeah.
That just plays the biggest part of it. You know, if we've had a dry spell, there really isn't as much. And then, you know, then ultimately, we also have to remember, we're kind of working with the state, but, you know, sweeping on 52 is about like plowing on 52. We don't really have permission, but they haven't told us not to. And if we're out there, if we're out there more, creating a scene, you know, sweeping, then they could come and tell us, you know, hey,
Back off.
yeah, we'll handle it. And I've never seen a street sweeper.
I seen one 2 weeks ago, right on 52 up there.
So, as you know, my biggest thing is that I'd rather not create too much of a scene, but I mean, try to keep up on the roads too. It's just gotta be a happy medium. So, you know, that's where I'm at with it. If the road's bad, then
I agree. Christie, we table it until next meeting, see what you do find out. Hey, if we get something, we don't, well, we're going further out than we are. I like this front page one.
yeah, I do too. I'm not sure. I mean, it's actively for sale. We can try it again.
Not coming from a
Yes, yeah.
salt, heavy salt.
And they did recondition it and everything like that. It's all been serviced.
30. Okay,
I'm just looking at those numbers on that drive.
Let's come from a small town.
Yeah,
Small town, it's got more hours, and it's got almost more hours than it's got miles.
yeah.
They ran it.
But for no more than we sweep, you wouldn't spend $350,000 on the streets.
No, and like I
We
said,
spent, what, 90 on that last one we had?
Well, that's more than a street sweep.
Yeah, it was a lot more, I understand, it was a lot more, but let's do what we needed to do.
yeah.
Then we bought it used.
Right.
What is it, 27 years old?
I don't know, we've had it a long time. I don't know what it was. When you
The vac hall's a 2007,
Yeah.
and we bought it from Cumberland.
Right.
It's sit for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, with comps, that's this front one with the same year, or, you know, it's 150. I've seen them up to 180. Mechanically, between the older ones and these newer ones, they're a lot of parts are interchangeable, but in like 2015, 2016, they switched to electronic controls, made it smoother operating. So there's that too. Less cables operating and freezing up and whatnot.
Yeah, they're all basically went up all the time.
Yeah, and they are all, it has water with jets on it too to keep the dust down.
Good.
Think you best this one? We'll look at jumping.
All right.
Thank you, Craig.
Thanks, Greg.
Oh, Craig, tell us what you got on 52.
Okay. So the email I got back from, I got a hold of Anthony Cox with the hydraulics team, who's hydrologist for the state. We talked about it, and he's going to be in contact with me to set up a in-person meeting. And he said, and here he kind of just said he's going to enter it as a drainage concern, and he's going to have someone from the team reach out for me within the next 45 days. And then we'll like I said, we'll get together, have a meeting. And that also includes looking at in front of your house also, and handling all that, and get the ball rolling.
You talked to him, Brian?
I couldn't connect with him today. I've got his number. I don't remember, he's not the individual that I had communicated with in the past, but this sounds like a more logical contact.
Yes, yeah. And I've got the pictures, and I've got, you know, past, the pictures, I've got current pictures, I'm gonna send it all to him, so that way he has everything before the meeting.
If you're looking at that situation, make sure you start down over the post office too.
Yes, yeah, we're gonna look, he wants to look at all that, right, you know, he's gonna have a few guys out too, And I think we're gonna have somebody from the, maintenance for the highway department also out there and see what it's gonna be a meeting of the minds.
How about the sidewalk issue also?
That will also, he's gonna look into it, or he doesn't know where their easement stops in that current location. So he's going to get with the legal team and figure out where's the side, whose sidewalk, what they're gonna do, so.
I don't know if I have to address Craig or address the board, but can I be at that meeting?
Yes, yeah, you will, I will keep you updated, yeah.
So I can be there?
Yes, yeah, you'll be there.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So, that's what I've got for now.
Thanks, Craig.
Thanks, Craig.
Okay, what else you got here?
Fire department.
Fire department.
We have a meeting next week about the fire chief. Have you heard anything from Charles about the contract or anything?
Is attorneys working it over?
When's Greg gonna do a presentation?
They just sent me paperwork to pay on the AFR, and then that's what we're doing next.
So when will we know? Because we need to,
He hasn't given me a date.
can he at least give
I
us
can ask
that
him.
information? Because
Yeah.
we need to get a contract going.
I will reach back out to him.
That's pretty important, so we can,
Because we're
you know, just-
funding them again.
right. He's just waiting on us.
It's,
Tell you, Stephen and his family have been really sick, so I'm not surprised he's not here.
That's cool.
they told him not to come unless he needed something.
They've all had 102.
Yeah, they went kindergarten around that.
Revitalizations, it's just kind of what it is right now.
Has anybody heard anything about the canoe livery at all?
Huh?
Has anybody heard anything about the canoe livery
The
this
one
year? Yeah,
Ours was canceled, that's the one at the Ripples is the one that they're doing instead.
okay. Kind of what I wondered, so I saw the stone, that looks like a canoe livery.
Is that what it is?
That's what that is.
Okay.
I'll bring up some on revitalization. A lot of the flower pots that we had last year are junk. Probably about the best way of putting them. Are we gonna, the ag group may not be ready for flowers this year, is that correct? Your understanding?
The greenhouse isn't even set to be done.
Right.
Yeah.
So we may
Oh,
have
our
to.
FFA.
Yeah.
Yeah, now, yes.
So if we pay for flowers, we may have to outsource, I don't know, Shelbyville, Morristown, somewhere. And are we gonna do that, or what about flower pots, what we gonna do about them? Because some of them's busted, and froze up and busted.
You can get rid of those, just pick them up, throw them in the garbage.
Some of them are really bad shape.
And we're gonna pick them up, throw them in the garbage, don't question it,
Let's
just do it.
Some pricing and, you think?
I don't know what else to do, I mean,
Who did it for us last year? Was that
revitalization.
revitalization?
I don't even remember, is that right?
Or
Who
did you?
paid for the flower pots and stuff?
It was,
Arranged it?
Wherever we got the flowers. I
Marlins.
think
Oh, Marlins is, but he's,
But he's done.
Yeah, so wherever we got them was going out of business.
So we're gonna have to source somewhere for at least another year. Huh?
Someplace in Shelbyville.
There's a couple in Shelbyville, isn't there?
There's one right here on 9, heading towards Greenfield.
It's closed.
Oh, is it closed now?
There's
And then-
Wells.
that was,
Well,
Wells on 40.
That's on the.
Oh, that's on 40.
40,
There's one in
Marlins not getting his own. No.
yes.
He's out.
We define Cove as a greenhouse.
Really?
Yeah,
Yep,
Okay.
their main campus.
I forgot about them.
That's right, they've got a huge
Green
work,
Cove, the same as the boutique,
Yes.
but it's their big one out in New Cow. They've got a greenhouse and nursery.
That's something we need to be thinking about here.
Birds at water.
We'll discuss it and table that for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point. I think we still need to get the ones that are busted off the street.
You know, how many of them are bad, Craig?
At least 5 of them. I've repurposed them out at the dump for now, until you guys figure out what to do with them. They make great blockers from right out the dump. So, but they're out, they're back there.
Okay. All bad ones?
All of them, yeah.
Okay.
Are those plastic or what?
Yeah, they're plastic.
Plastic. Yeah, freezing, break. Get 2 seasons of it, you're lucky. Okay.
Miscellaneous.
Anything to park?
Where's Dave?
You skip it out.
Nothing with the parks.
I do. At our meeting tomorrow at the recycling district, they're gonna vote on, we did put blacktop at the park for the pickleball courts,
Mm-hmm.
$60,000.
They're going to vote for that tomorrow? No, okay.
Yeah.
What about what Dee Dee presented? Was that for that?
What's that?
What Dee Dee, was that what?
That's part of that.
That's part of it?
Does that take care of it?
We take care of all the blacktopping, yes.
Still got to put the nets.
Put the nets.
But she had raised enough money, I think,
Yeah,
to
she got
do that stuff.
Yeah.
Or she had, not raised, she got the
She's got
grant.
money she's gotta use.
Right.
She'll just have more money to put stuff, fencing and stuff around it. I think that'll go through tomorrow.
We probably need to eventually think of more parking out there. Where if we put the pickleball over on that north side, we probably need a strip of parking put in there to accommodate that.
Probably.
Because the only parking is really down by the playground, and it's not much.
Let us know as soon as possible on all that.
I'll have Friday morning.
The South Railroad Crossing Industrial Park. And
Right.
we've had to send letters in the past. Again, it's now down past the rail. I mean, it's down, I mean, we're down into the dirt now through there, so that's continues to be an issue. It's getting pretty bad through there. So,
Is that ours or is that
the buggies.
that's Monkey's? Yeah. On 500 or on, over at the?
On Industrial Parkway, south side of Park 100, the one that goes to Triple
And the
J.
same area they had issue with in the past?
Yeah, where they did all the drainage at. But yeah, it's a good.
They just replaced the rail and they didn't backfill on that at all. Last year, I just stuck some of our gravel in there, just to get it so that nobody was popping tires. I tried to get ahold of Cody last year about it, and I didn't get a call back.
I'm sure he'll fix it if we get a hold of it. Get it fixed.
I haven't seen anybody.
Yeah.
They're all coming in as I go out.
They put a really nice crossing into the south that they don't even use. But they didn't fix the one in the north that everybody uses, so.
I did.
Move to adjourn.
Second. So you'll find out on that?